In this video series, we are going to be using SketchUp to create ourselves a 3D model of a microbat box. So this is the finished product of what we are going to be creating today. You can see it's fairly simple, just a few pieces of timber whacked together to create this shape. So if you're not quite sure what a microbat is, they're just little bats, probably about the size of your hand. And since they're so small, it does make them easy targets for bigger predators like bigger birds, snakes and things like that. So the point of this box is to keep those little fellas safe. Alright, so what happens is the microbats fly over to this box and they will latch on to some mesh. That's this darker coloured stuff that runs along the back wall of our box. Once they latch onto that mesh, they can either hang out there in the open, or if we fling around to the underside, they can crawl inside this little gap here. Okay, it only needs to be a very small gap, and they'll crawl up inside there, and that mesh runs all the way up the back wall, and if you would like, you can put mesh on the inner walls as well. And using their claws, they'll just hang out there and have a snooze and keep themselves safe away from predators and harsh weather conditions. Okay, so that's what a microbat box looks like, and that's what it's used for. That little hole at the top too can be used to drill it or hammer it into trees or buildings, things like that. Okay, so that's what we're going to be making today in SketchUp. Once we finish this, then we can get into the workshop and start making the real thing. So to get started, you will need to load up SketchUp, and before you start drawing anything, I want you to go to the menu up here in the top left and choose New Model and select the millimeter template. When you first load SketchUp, it will come in feet and inches, which is what the Americans use. We want to stick with the metric system that us Aussies use, so we want to be in millimeters. So it's really important that you change your document to millimeters. Once you select millimeters, you will end up with a screen looking something like this. You'll have a person standing there, so click on them with your mouse and then press delete on your keyboard to get rid of them. Now from here, what we're going to do is change our view. So go over to your little movie clapper here, which will bring up your views menu, and just select the front of the house so we can go to the front view. That's where we're going to start today. And the first piece that we're going to be drawing is the back wall of our bat box. So to draw the back wall, simple. Start by grabbing the rectangle tool, clicking right on the origin where all the axes meet, and just click once and move your mouse up and to the right, and you'll see that a green rectangle is following your mouse cursor wherever you go. Now what I'm going to do is just type some numbers in just a moment, and you'll see that they appear down here in the dimensions box. Okay, so I'm just going to let go of the mouse now. We don't want to touch the mouse for this. I'm going to type in 140, 350. And what that means is we're going to make a rectangle that's 140 millimeters width, 350 millimeters in height. So 140, 350, press enter, and you will see the back wall of your microbat box appear. Now it does come out quite small to start with, so you'll need to scroll up on your mouse to zoom in on the back wall. Next thing I'm going to do is grab the orbit tool here and just drag around so we can fly around and see our 2D rectangle. Now if you have a mouse attached to your computer, you don't need to use this orbit tool. Just hold the middle wheel down on your mouse and move around, and you can see that you are orbiting around your shape. What I want you to do is just orbit around to the back of this wall, and I want you to go and choose your push-pull tool. And what we're going to do is extrude this 7 millimeters. So click on the back wall and pull it towards you. Okay, you can go to all sorts of different sizes, but if you just type in 7 and press enter, it will give you a 7 millimeter depth on that back wall. Next thing I'm going to do is triple click on this with our white arrow. So I've got my white arrow from the toolbox. 1, 2, 3 clicks, and that will turn it blue. That just selects the entire shape now. We can right click on it and make it a component. Just give it the name back wall and press OK. So that is our back wall made. Pretty simple. The next thing we're going to do on this back wall is we're going to put some mesh. Okay, so to do the mesh, I'm going to actually go back to the front view of this back wall, and I'm going to grab the rectangle tool again, click in the bottom left corner, which is the origin, and just drag up, and you can see that the green rectangle is following your mouse cursor again. Now the mesh needs to be 285, or 115. Press enter, and you will get your mesh running up the back wall. Now you want to get that right in the center. Okay, so there's a few things we need to do here. First of all, we need to extrude it just to make it 3D. So let's go and grab our push-pull tool. Just pull it out 1 millimeter. Okay, so type in 1 and press enter. You'll barely notice that it's actually extruded, but if you come side on, you'll see that there's just a little 1 millimeter extrusion taking place there. The next thing we're going to do is grab our white arrow and triple click on it. So 1, 2, 3, just to select it all and make that a component now. I'm just going to call it mesh. We'll click OK there. Now zooming back out, I'm probably going to just go back to the front view actually. So I've gone back to my views and chosen the front view. I'm going to grab my move tool from my toolbox, and I'm going to click on the middle, or the midpoint down here, and just move this over to the midpoint over there. Okay, if you don't quite get the midpoint, just roughly guess where it is, but that looks about right to me. Pretty sure you can pick it up and it'll snap into place. So just snap it into place, and that is where our mesh is going to go. Alright, just to make these a little bit easier to see what's going on, we might colour them in now. So go and grab your fill bucket tool over here. Well, not your fill bucket, your paint bucket, sorry. And in your materials panel that appears, choose this brick wall with a magnifying glass on it. Now I don't care what colour you do the mesh, I'd just do a greeny kind of colour because that's what we're going to be using in real life. And for the back wall we want to choose a timber colour. Yeah, my internet's been a bit dodgy, so that's taking its time. There we go, we finally got it up. I'm going to go down to wood. I'll just choose a light coloured wood. Lightish colour, and put that in. And as for the mesh, it's just a matter of having a look around. Maybe this synthetic surface, that'll do me. So in synthetic surfaces, I just chose this greeny colour. That's probably the closest thing we'll get to mesh. So that's our back wall, looking pretty sweet. The next thing we're going to whack on are some side walls. Okay, so side walls are going to run down either side of the mesh. Okay, so let's actually go back to the home view here. Now the side walls are going to start 53 millimeters up from the base. So I'm going to grab my tape measure here, and I'm going to click and measure up 53 mil, just looking at the length down here in the corner. When it gets to 53, I'm just going to click my mouse, and from there I'm going to click across to the right somewhere. Okay, and I just want to get that dashed line appearing, which is going to help guide me when I do these side walls. Alright, so grab your rectangle tool now. And for the sides, they're going to be 69 mil width, 232 mil height, and a depth of 12 millimeters. Alright, so let's click right on that guide. Come across 12 millimeters actually, and then we're going to go up 232, so to the top of the mesh, and just click. So that's the gap we want to fill in. It's pretty simple. Now we've got to extrude it. I did say I had a depth of 12 millimeters, but I was wrong. The depth needs to be 69 millimeters. So pull it out and type in 69. And you'll end up with a side looking like that. Okay. That looks pretty good. Let's do the same on the other side. You could duplicate that, or you could just draw it again. It's really up to you. I might make this a component first, sorry. So triple click on this. Make component. We'll just call it side. Now if you want to draw that again, just draw it again. I'm going to try and duplicate it actually, just so I can show you how to save a bit of time. So back on the front view, grab your move tool, grab this bottom right corner, and while you're holding control, drag straight across, and you want to try and drop it in that other corner. It's going to be a bit of a mongrel that, so it might actually be quicker just to draw it yourself. So starting there, drag up to there, 232, and we'll extrude that 69. There we go. So we'll need to make that a component too, so triple click on that side wall, 1, 2, 3, make component, just call it side 2. Click OK. If you want, you can color them in as well. And the next step is to angle the top of this timber down 8 degrees. So we've got a bit of a slope like you can see on the finished product, so the rain can run off our roof rather than pool up on top of it. Alright, so to angle it down, a little bit fiddly, you've got to zoom in here. Just using a scroll on your mouse. And we're going to go down and we're going to grab our protractor here. Okay, and we're going to be clicking in this top corner here where the side wall meets the back wall. I'm going to go straight across and click on that end and come down 8 degrees. So if you just type in 8 and press enter, you'll get a line that angles down at 8 degrees. Okay, go and do that on the other side as well over here. So click on this section where the side and the back wall meet, click on the end, and angle down, type in 8, press enter. You've now got two angles, dashed lines there, they're just guides, coming down at 8 degrees. I'm going to grab my move tool, click on this, actually I'll have to double click on it first. I think, let me just try this, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to double click on this corner. Yep. So with your white arrow, double click on this side wall. Zoom in a little bit so you can do this a bit clearer, and you'll need your move tool, so that bunch of arrows. It's just a matter of grabbing that corner and bringing it down, straight down to that dashed line. So we're now on an angle of 8 degrees. Go around here, and we're going to do the same. So grab your white arrow and just click out here in the middle of nowhere, and then double click on this side wall. Grab your move tool, grab that corner and pull it straight down 8 degrees. Okay, you'll notice that the inside sections haven't been pulled down yet. Okay, we're going to do that next. Alright, so grab your white arrow, click off everything. You can delete these guides if you want to. And from here we just need to pull these inside bits down as well so we get them looking level. So just go back to your front view here and grab your, I'll use our line tool actually, that might be easier, just to draw in a construction line. So a line that we're going to delete in a moment once it helps us draw some straight lines. So I'm going to click on this corner and drag straight across there. I'll grab my move tool, click on this corner. Actually I won't click on that corner yet, I need to double click on this. Grab my move tool and pull this top right corner down to that line we just drew. Okay, so drag it down and drop it into place, and you should now have a nice perfect angle. There will be a black line running across the top of that you can just click on with your arrow and press delete. Don't need that. Click outside of your shape. If you want, you can click on this black line and delete it. And we've now got that angled wall looking good. So we'll repeat that on the other side. Okay, so go to the front view, zoom in, and just either double click on it now, or actually I'll just draw a line first. Straight across and connects over there. It's not going to show, oh yeah, there it is. I was going to say it's not showing up, but it did. And I'll grab my white arrow and double click on that side piece so we can get in and edit that component. Grab your move tool and just drag this top corner down. It's level with that line. Grab your arrow tool, click on this black line on the top, whatever that is, and press delete. Click outside of your shape, and then click once on the black line we just drew and press delete on your keyboard again. Okay, so we've now got these sides on an 8-degree angle, which is going to allow us to put on a sloped roof, which will prevent the rain from running onto our bird box. Alright, so that's looking good. One last thing I might do in this video is put the front of the box on, and then I might stop and we'll come back and finish it off in a second video. Okay, so the front face that we're going to be doing, I'll just show you what it looks like. It's the one here with the Batman logo on it. So let's go and grab, I'll actually go to the front view first. Then I'll pop up and grab my rectangle tool. And with my rectangle tool, I'm simply going to click on this top left corner and drag it down to the bottom right corner. Okay, so we're just going to cover that entire front face, something like that. Next up, we just need to extrude this shape to make it 3D. So I'll just go for a quick fly around. You can see it's a 2D shape at the minute. Grab your push-pull tool, click on the front face, pull it towards you, and type in 20. Press enter. So we've got a 20mm front face. What we'll do next is get it on an angle like these guys are, so it's on an 8-degree angle as well. So the rain's going to run off that as well. So I'll triple click on it first to select it all. Right click and then make a component. Just call it front. Press OK, and we've now made that one big shape. You can color it while we're here if you want. So just while you've got the materials up, give it a bit of a color. And now we can worry about getting this angle right. So I'm just going to look at it from side on by clicking this right view in my perspective box here. I want it to come up a bit. And I'm going to grab my protractor. Click on this intersection here where the front meets this side. So click once there, click on the front, and then move your mouse down and type in 8 and press enter. So you've now got that 8-degree slope. Swing around and do that on the other side. Okay, so we're just going to zoom in here, click on that, angle it down 8 and press enter. Alright, so we've now got two 8-degree slopes running down the side of our box. Grab your white arrow, double click on the front face. I'm just going to come around to the side here, zoom in, and using my move tool I'm just going to pull that straight down. It should snap right onto that 8mm line. Swing around the other side. Okay, you might have to zoom in a bit here as well. I'm just zooming around here, trying to get this spot on. I'm going to pull that side there, so that top corner, pull it straight down, snap it onto that dashed line. Awesome. So what I'll do now is just click outside of that with my white arrow and come back, and we'll just have a look at that slope. Looks pretty good, so we can delete these guides. So click on the dashed lines and press delete to get rid of them. That front face has now got a nice 8-degree slope as well, like the sides, so that our roof will fit perfect on there. Just notice there's this diagonal line running through here. If you want to double click back on that and click on that diagonal line, just press delete. And then you can click back out of it. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. I'm going to stop the video here because I think I've been rambling on long enough for the moment. That's the first part of your bat box done. In the second part, we'll put a roof on, we'll put a laser cut image on here, and we'll put this inner insert in here so the little bats can creep up inside of there and not get easily attacked by their prey. Alrighty, so I'll catch you in the next video.